Hello, everybody. Welcome to an all-new episode of the Wrestling Road Trip After Hours. I messed that up right off the bat there. Welcome to Wrestling's Road Trip After Hours. I'm your special host tonight because we're both on medications, along with my special friend, Mr. Teddy Long, WWE Hall of Famer. How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm begging you to get everything.
I
Jesus.
know, man.
If you don't, you just start out. You don't even give yourself no time. You just start right in.
Well, I found that when we do these shows, that when I go back and look at them, that the videos, when they end, sometimes we already started talking. I can't figure out why it's not crossing over like we see on the screen. So it does something kind of funny,
Well,
which is why we always kind of pause.
whatever it's doing, you're responsible.
I'm sure I am. Man, it is good to see you. I know that you're not feeling fantastic tonight. You got some of that crud that's been going all over, it seems. Everybody seems to be getting this crap.
Yeah, man, I'm coming down with it now. So I did have some antibiotics here, so I took a couple of them, and so hopefully, I can feel better about. Well, tomorrow's a gym day. I took off today, so I'll go and try and sweat it out.
Yep. Let me ask you, have you heard the latest news when it came to the Hall of Fame for WWE? The natural disasters are going into the Hall of Fame.
Well, I did. Yeah, I did see that. That was tugboat and somebody, right?
Yeah, that was earthquake and typhoon because they went into the natural disasters. But yeah, that was John Tenta and Fred Ottman, who also, for those of you who are not aware, Fred Ottman is also the Shockmaster of WCW fame. Did you have a chance, Teddy, to work with John Tenta at all? I've never asked you that.
Yeah. Brother, I started in the NWA. If I ain't worked with you, then you wasn't working.
Any memories with John Tenta that you can recall?
No, not really. Just a nice guy, always, playful, had a great attitude, and that's it.
There are a few things in the news this week, Teddy, and this is something that I wanted to bring up to you just to get your opinion on this. Pat McAfee recently revealed on his Instagram that someone has been targeting him and sending sick death threats, not only to him, but also to his 1-year-old daughter following the Elimination Chamber controversy. Have you heard about this?
I saw something on social media about it. I didn't take the time to read it. I follow Pat, and so I was running through my Twitter stuff today, and I saw something about that. What are the threats?
I guess they're threatening to hurt him or his child.
For what reason? Did he do something at the...
I think what it was, Teddy, in fact, well, let me set this up. At the recent Premium Live event, Elimination Chamber, when they started the show, actually, I'm not sure if it was even on the actual PLE. It may have been on the pre-show, but a girl came out to sing the national anthem. Now, they're in Canada, and they booed this girl silly the entire time she sang the national anthem. Well, Pat McAfee didn't care for that too much, and he didn't hold back. He didn't appreciate it whatsoever, and he let it be known. And quite honestly, I think there are probably a lot of people who watched that probably thought the same thing. Like, what in the hell? If nothing else, the poor girl in the ring looked like am I singing that bad? It was all politics that played into it. But aren't there times when politics need to be put to the side and just enjoy the show, and you don't need to be showing your ass like that somewhere? What are your thoughts?
Well, I really don't know. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, was the girl singing that bad to the people?
No, she was singing fantastic. That wasn't the problem. The problem was that the crowd did not want to show applause for the United States of America. There's a lot of things going on between Canada and USA.
So you had a person from the United States singing their national anthem there.
Yep.
Yeah.
But now they also sang the Canadian national anthem. The same person sang the Canadian national anthem, but it was just the Canadian fans. They weren't going to have it.
Well, if they did that, then I can't see them just booing her. They were booing the United States of America.
Yeah,
that's
exactly
what they were doing.
Yeah. But at the same time, Pat McAfee, man, he just people didn't appreciate his comments about the Canadians booing our national anthem. Sorry, there's probably a lot of people who are watching that felt the same way Pat did, if you're from America. So, but there may be a good thing there. Could you run a story right now, Teddy, where it would be Canada versus USA? Are we still in a period where we can do something like that?
Yeah, you could if you pull it off right. I mean, look what Vince and did with Sergeant Slaughter and the Iron Sheik.
Yeah.
The reason they made so much money is because at that time there was really a war. and the Sheik was originally from Iran. So all that's perfect. So if you're from the United States and you want the United States to win, then you're gonna cheer for them. And though that's what people did, they made Slaughter the biggest baby face of all time, man. So him and Sheik made a lot of money because it was real.
Have you ever been in an arena somewhere where they were doing the national anthem and the crowd booed the national anthem?
No.
Yeah, would that surprise you? I mean, would that shock you?
Well, yeah, when you do something like that, that's just going a little bit too overboard, I would say, you know. But I mean, people are going to be people. So
Yeah,
with all this stuff going on in the world and everything now, you know, all this hatred and evil. So, we just don't know what may happen next.
absolutely true. Wyatt Long popping in saying, "Hi, Teddy Long."
What's
Back,
happening
Davis.
there, Wyatt Long?
Why? No relation, huh?
Well, I don't know. Is he black?
I don't know. Hey, look, we're twins, and nobody says anything about that. Let's see.
No,
Michael
I think
Steele.
I know Wyatt. I've seen him on some of the independents, so I know Wyatt. And
Michael.
my man Michael Steele, he just let me know there are too many snowflakes for that for that now.
You know, and I'm going to be honest with you, Michael. I completely agree. I think that the people being so touchy about anything you do or say nowadays has killed so many things in entertainment that we used to enjoy. Not only professional wrestling, but comedians. They can no longer get up on stage and really say the things they want because people take offense to it when they're just being funny. You've got to remove yourself from reality sometimes, and that includes in professional wrestling as well as in when you get into a comedic situation, because they're being somebody to get a laugh out of you. They're not really poking fun. They're trying to make you feel good.
Yeah,
And that becomes really crazy. And too many snowflakes in wrestling create some of the boring storylines that we get now. I can't imagine us ever talking about, the Japanese, coming in and we hate the Japanese and they're evil people. Well, back when we were young, the Japanese, that was an evil, type of character that played into professional wrestling. Nobody took it seriously, but they played along with it and enjoyed the story that was being told. By the way, if you want to join in the conversation, please do so. Also, share this link. Let people know that we're up and live right now. We'd love to have your comments in here. We're not looking for super stickers. We're not looking for money. We're just looking for your questions, and they don't cost you a nickel. Just simply let us know your questions. And by the way, Teddy, I
yes.
believe you might have a T-shirt to give away tonight.
Okay.
So if he chooses your message as the one that he likes best tonight, if you come up with the best question, he'll pick that person, and that person will receive a free road trip after hours T-shirt.
God.
All right,
Begging you.
let me bring up some more news, Teddy, while we wait for some people to get in here. We do have breaking news that Ria Ripley is reportedly set to miss WrestleMania this year due to an undisclosed issue. Does that surprise you, seeing her disappear? I was surprised that she lost the belt, and now it's starting to kind of make a little bit more sense now. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. You know, because we never know what's going on, you know, behind the scenes. So, that may be just something that may be involved, with her, having to do with her. So maybe that's why I don't know.
Do you think that maybe Rhea has, and I've seen people say this online, that maybe her character is kind of played out and they needed something fresh? I'm not sure I felt that way. I was kind of hoping we'd get a Rhea and a Charlotte, matchup or something. Rhea and some of the big girls that are there. Rhea is one of those girls that needs to still remain in the mix, don't you think?
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, with Rhea, like we don't know what's really going on, so we're just gonna have to sit back and watch this play out too. But I hope everything's all right with her because I mean she's a great worker. She
Yeah.
does great out there, man. So I hope they're gonna keep her around.
Yeah, like I said, it was surprising for me to see Io Sky win that belt from her the other night, and it was just like, what? It was the last thing I expected to see before WrestleMania. But there's still a lot of time between now and WrestleMania to see what happens. James Malfi, hope I get that right, James. It says, getting tired of the censorship of the crowd these days. That's a good point. And I didn't have this down, but I'll ask you this, Teddy. We're on Netflix, where they say and do just about anything, yet they're censoring the wrestlers on Netflix. Does that make sense to you?
Well, You know, in a way it does, and I'll explain it the best I can. You know, I'm thinking, you know, with the crowd saying stuff and saying whatever they want to say, that's a whole different ball game. But I think with the wrestlers, you know, no matter what you do, you still got to stay professional. And so I think that's what they're doing. They're maybe censoring some stuff that the guys say, you know, maybe not everything, but like I said, they still have to remain professional.
And the problem is that when The Rock gets in the ring, and The Rock seems to have a lot more freedom than anybody else, and he'll say what he wants on the microphone. But there are times when he says it, and you're watching Netflix, and of course, I'm not expecting anything to get censored because I've heard the F-bomb thrown on every show on Netflix. So all of a sudden, they start blanking out what The Rock is saying because he's using several words in a row, and all of a sudden, all you hear is silence, and you don't even know what the hell is going on in the ring at that point. There does come a time now. I can almost understand Netflix Monday Night Raw keeping it censored, but when you go to a PLE and you start censoring the PLEs, that seems to take away from part of the mystique of a PLE to me, Teddy.
Well,
I mean, I want to think that at least on a PLE, you can give me a little more edge than you do on your regular weekly program.
yeah, well, it looked like to me that would be okay too, but man, you know, it's just so many changes and stuff that they're doing now. So we really don't know what to say or what to do.
Let's see. I got one more thing that was in the news. I did see MJF from AEW reveal that he witnessed John Cena's heel turn live at Elimination Chamber and had nothing but praise for it. And I saw him putting him over saying, heck yeah, if you didn't mark out when that happened, then you're just not a wrestling fan, basically. And it was good to see MJF say what he had to say, recognizing the other company and give them the props that they deserve.
Right, good. And like I said, I've always had a lot of respect for MJF. I really, you know, respect that guy. What a great guy.
Yep.
And like I said, he just said it right. Like I told you, with Cena's turn, that's the best thing he could have ever did. Because that's him. Okay, and so when that is really you can really pull that off because it's you.
Yes.
So and I'll explain that. I think I might have said something on Sportskeeda about it. Man,
and I tell you, Teddy, why you catch your breath there, because I know you got back congestion going on. But I'll say something that surprised me when we saw The Rock and John Cena in the ring in the turn, the following Monday Night Raw, just the other night. Neither one of them were on the show. That surprised me. They had nobody from that actually in the ring and talking about what happened. Did that seem like a missed opportunity to you?
Well, it always has been that way. If something went down like that, soon as you open up Monday Night Raw, that clip would be right there. Vince would always have that right there in case you didn't see what happened last night. Well, here's what went down. You know what I mean? So I guess a lot of stuff they're getting away from some of the old school stuff, but that's good stuff right there. You got to continue with that.
Yeah, I felt like they lost the steam. It's like, man, you had everybody waiting to tune in to see what was going to happen on Monday Night Raw. And maybe that was part of the concept in their mind was like, well, we know they'll come for this show after the pay-per-view, but the following week we'll follow it up and we'll get even higher numbers then because people know they'll be coming in. But in reality, I think as a fan, you really wanted to see more of that story develop on Monday Night Raw. And I thought it was something that was desperately missing on the program. Let's see. We got somebody else here. Mike Rosanorta. Rosanorta. I hope that's right, Mike, and I apologize if it's not. Definitely a Teddy Long guy. Best wrestling interview when he isn't being politically correct. Yeah, they're all better when it's like that.
Well, thank you, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see. I do have some letters here from last week, and we got some that we can get to from tonight from the fans come in here. And if you have a question, leave them down below. This is where we're going to start answering those questions coming up next.
Letters, oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day. Mailman, mailman, mail today. Reach right in and pull one out. Those letters, I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say.
Oh boy!
Mailman, mail today.
All right, Teddy, here we go. Our
All right.
first question that we got in is Jack in Georgia wants to know, Why did you leave WCW?
Um, I didn't leave WCW. I left. Well, okay, I did leave. I left WCW to go to WWE. That it was the WWF at that time. So I left there in 1998. That's when I went to the WWF.
Was there ever something that you noticed? Look, this is actually part of the next question. Maybe that's why it's on my mind. Miguel, the whale, asked this question. When you went to WWE, what was the first thing you noticed that was different from WCW?
Well, the first thing I noticed that they were about business. Okay, that when I finally went to the WWF, I really understood what this business was all about, the business side. I never learned that in NWA and WCW because they didn't want me to know that side.
Yep.
But when you got to Vince, you got to know that side. That's how you're going to be able to keep a job. You got to know what your purpose is and why you're there. So it was it was great for me to go there. It was like a blessing from God, and I had a chance to work closely with Vince on a lot of stuff. The Vickie Guerrero stuff, that Vince wrote that. The kidnapping from Taker, Vince wrote that. The White Boy Challenge, Vince wrote that. So he wrote a lot of stuff that I did.
All right, let's see. Mike again popping in the room. WWE doesn't want to give Netflix any more than they have to. Mike, yeah, the saying is that the check's already been cashed. So they're going to give Netflix what they can give them, but they've already got their money, so they don't have to go out of the way. And that's something, Teddy, when it comes to WrestleMania, that I worry about. You know, they know they're going to sell tickets to WrestleMania. And by selling those tickets, if they reach a certain, once they sell them out, do they have to try anymore? Or is that just pretty much it? We don't need to announce anybody else. We don't need to spend any more money. We got what we need. That's it.
Well, why would you keep advertising if you ain't got no more seats?
Well, that's true.
If you ain't got nowhere to put them, then why keep advertising?
Now, I'm not sure if they're sold out, and somebody who's in the room right now may know. I think that they're still way shy of being sold out for WrestleMania in Las Vegas, but somebody in here may know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because that surprised me when I heard that or saw that earlier this afternoon. Dave Ruby popping in and saying, "Hey guys, good to see you live again." Thanks, Dave, and thanks for popping in. I know you got on our list. For both of you, which storyline in WWE today is the least interesting or should scrap altogether? Teddy, what do you think?
I've seen quite a few things that they're doing. I don't really see nothing that they should scrap. Maybe they should, tweak it or maybe work at it a little bit better. But I think what they're doing right now is good for everybody.
The one thing I think that if they had to scrap something, and I think they need to figure out if they're going to go forward to scrap it or not, would be the Wyatt Six. That program just seems so out there and all over the place. And I've even heard that maybe Bo Dallas is no longer a part of the Wyatt Six, which is rather odd because he was the brother of Bray Wyatt. So,
well, I think that's ran its course.
Yeah, I do too. And I'll be honest with you, Teddy, the bloodline story, I kind of like to see that fade away too, because I think that's played out. Do you?
No, I don't. I think what they need to do is to add some new characters, to that. You can get a lot more out of that bloodline. Look at you still got Rikishi out there. You ain't talked to him about his boys. You know what I mean? So there are a lot more more of the Samoan family there that they could involve, right now before they, get rid of that.
All right, Adam in Texas writes, we recently heard from Nick Dinsmore, Eugene in WWE, that allegedly his girlfriend or wife was once cornered in the ladies' bathroom with Mark Carrano begging her to kiss him. Nick said he had to force the door open to help his wife or girlfriend out. And the question being, does that surprise you, Teddy Long?
Not at all. And the other thing too, they haven't really mentioned his name much, you know what I mean, Mark Carrano, but he was certainly a mean, evil person.
Yep. Diane wants to know, do you recall where you were and how you found out that Eddie Guerrero died?
Well, I was in Minneapolis, Minnesota at that time. We were working TV that day. And so we were all staying at the TV hotel, which was the Marriott downtown there. And so when I left the Marriott, I went straight to the arena, got to the arena. So I remember walking in and I spoke to Fit Finley. I remember seeing Fit. and he didn't look right, and I kept looking around, and everybody was kind of in gloom, and so I asked Fit. I said, is everything all right here?" And Fit told me that Eddie had died because he OD'd in the hotel where we were all staying, in the TV hotel. So that's how I found it out when I got the TV.
What was that night like backstage? Was it very quiet back there, or was it just back to business?
Well, back to business. You know what I mean? Vince always installed in you, no matter what happens, the show must go on. You may feel bad and you may want to grieve, but you can do that, and you can also do your job too. So, like I said, the show must go on.
Yep. All right, let's see. Yalu ask, you get offered a position in a new Vince McMahon wrestling promotion, but you find out Johnny Ace, John Laurinaitis, is also working there. Do you still take the job?
No, and that ain't gonna happen. John Laurinaitis ain't gonna be working nowhere.
You don't know.
Okay, I don't see Vince opening up a company and then bringing this guy in. You know what? That's just like taking a gun, putting it to your head.
Yeah. Commit suicide. You might as well if you're bringing him in. Brandon
Yeah.
Atkins. What's up, guys? Hey, Brandon. Good to have you on the show this evening. By the way, we do have several people in here. Please share this. Let people know we're out there. If you have a question, we still have a few more minutes before we close out. We only do a 30-minute program, so you get about 7 minutes to get your questions in, and we'll get to them. And by the way, the best question of the evening, Teddy will pick, and that person will win a free Wrestling's Road Trip After Hours t-shirt. All right. Adam in Virginia asked, was there anyone you wanted to work with but never had the opportunity, such as Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, some big names like that?
Well, no, because I had the opportunity to work with all those guys. I had a chance to work with Hogan when I was general manager of SmackDown. Who else did he say there?
Randy Savage,
Yeah.
I guess some of the big names, because you were in WCW and the early and Jim Crockett and all that stuff during the time of some of these early stars. How many was there ever a star that you're like, man, if I could just have worked with him?
No, because I pretty much worked with him. I worked with Randy Savage. I was with Savage before he ever went to New York and became Macho Man Randy Savage. I was with him back then.
Wow.
So, like I said, I basically work with all of them. I'm
Yep.
sitting here thinking, I just don't know anybody that, you know what? I do know somebody. I wished I would have had the opportunity to work with Bruno Sammartino.
That's cool. Yeah, and did you get to see him when he finally came over
Yes.
to the WCW?
Yeah, well, I saw him in New York too. Before he started coming around there after a while.
Here's another question I got for you, just out of curiosity. In the early days, before we had the cell phones and texting and all that other stuff, did you guys, the boys, were they able to communicate much at all on the road? How did you do that? How did you get messages to one another? You just simply see each other at the place, or because I would imagine you'd be split up all over the country eventually.
Well, I remember one time Butch Reed was trying to call home, and he kept calling home, and we had to stop like every 5 minutes to a payphone so he could keep calling home. So that was pretty rough right there. Okay. Because he'd call home and then he'd hang up and then he'd think of something else he didn't say. Then he'd tell us, pull over here. I got to call back. So, yeah, that was pretty interesting.
That had to be tough back then, even if you were trying to take bookings. I mean, it's like, how did you get a booking? Was it just a phone call? You had to catch up on a payphone somewhere and just get your booking through a payphone?
No, they gave you a booking sheet back in the day. You had a booking sheet, and
But I mean, if somebody wanted to reach out and book you for a show back then that was outside of like something you were doing,
that didn't happen. That didn't happen back then.
No.
Okay, wasn't no promoters or running no Comic Cons and Wrestle Cons and all. No, none of that wasn't even happening.
When was the first time
you wouldn't have been allowed to work for any of those people back then anyway?
When was the first time that you started seeing some of the conventions pop up? Because I don't really remember.
I guess when I first left WWE, then I started getting these calls, to come to these different Comic Cons and different stuff. So that's when I started learning about them then. And also I had the opportunity to work with a great guy, Tony Hunter. And so he, and that's what you really got to have. You got to have a promoter that's fair and not going to lie to you and, swindle you out your money. And they got them out there, I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, let's see. We have James Malfi coming in saying, Teddy, what was your favorite match to ref?
Well, I think the thing that really put me on the map too was the Ric Flair and Steamboat, and I had the chance to come in on the end of that and make the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I remember that. It's funny when I go back and watch some of the matches with some of the star. I mean, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, these guys. Every once in a while, there's Teddy, man. He is running around that ring. And then you told me at one time you were the only ref in some cases that worked every single match. Was that
Yeah,
normal?
with no other referee. I worked the Saturday morning show, and then I worked the Saturday afternoon show. So we taped all those matches that one day.
God almighty. All right, let's
And
see.
and after that, I took the ring down, put it and put it up, and then also wherever else I had to go, I had to put the ring up.
Zach. Hey, brother. Holla, holla, players. Smiz from Falls Count Everywhere wanting to say, hey, we appreciate you popping in too, man. It's good to see you in here.
Hey, thank you, Zach. Thank you for hollering at us, player.
And let's see who we got here. We got Scott. I know Scott too. Scott Gillespie. He's up from the Texas area. Teddy, got any of those $10 Viagra pills still?
Yeah, I got some, but they're $20 now.
That's a good way to end the thing. Teddy, you got to pick a question tonight or comment and let me know which one we're going to give away. That
Well, I thought about it right up at the beginning, man. We'll give that T-shirt to my man Mike. He's a Teddy La Holla guy. So, and I appreciate the question. That was good.
You talking about Michael Steele?
No, Mike, the guy that had that good question for us there.
Gotcha. I got you. This Mike Rawson Tor. I can't say your last name to save my soul. Rawson Tor. Right, you say it, Teddy. Can you see it on the screen? Rawson.
No, I just see Scott Gillespie.
Okay, here. We'll see. Let's throw this up there. Pronounce this guy's name. His last name.
Mike Rosandora or something like that.
Yeah.
Like Rosadora or something.
We tried, Mike. You'll have to send us something and let us know how we actually should be saying your name. All right. So congratulations.
This is not the guy here either, because I'm looking at his question. That's not him.
Well, he's asked a couple questions. Which one was the question about? Let's see.
You remember he said about the holla guy, my Teddy Long guy?
Yeah, that's him.
Okay. Yeah. All right,
I'll double check to make sure before we get out of here, because I always reach out to the folks after we get finished. So,
okay.
And by the way, congratulations to Bryce from last week. Bryce Bordeaux. I think you had to say his last name, ring announcer, but he won last week. And congratulations to Mike for this week's T-shirt winner. Teddy, we're out of time. Anything you want to talk about?
I'm just going to give a big shout out to everybody in Westminster, South Carolina. I'll be there on Saturday at the Westminster High School for a big meet and greet and a wrestling show. So see you in Westminster, South Carolina at Westminster High School. That's on Saturday night.
Sounds good. And for everybody who joined us tonight, thank you so much for joining in. We do this every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Join Teddy and myself and ask Teddy. Ask him anything and maybe even win a